Welcome to Your OC Sucks, the weekly podcast where we review and critique the best and the worst fan-created original characters from the My Little Pony Fandom. This show is unscripted and unfiltered, so moderate language will be used. As well, this show can be a little heavy on the critique at times. That being said, if you were easily offended, do not watch. If not, feel free to join us for this week's show. This is episode 68 for July 3rd, 2015. This week, we are taking a look at some ponies that are glorious ponies of royalty and some that should be overthrown. My name is Mummified Thunderbirds. I am the host and show manager. I am joined by...
Commander Sparkle, Assistant Project Manager.
I'm Mitty Bobo. I'm in charge of gathering questions and viewer interaction.
And I'm Smooth Sailing, and I'm the editor.
And once again, we are coming around to another Alicorn episode where we will talk about the wonderful, all three races together in perfect harmony pony people. But first, we have to take a look at some fan art that we got this week. So, fan art.
Yeah, I mean, it exists.
So, 8-Bit Amy gave us a lovely comic about us reviewing OCs as though it was like some sort of like game show thing, like fucking TV shows that people find all the time. You know, they look like, it looks like that.
But no, it's definitely. I think it is really funny and really fun, and it's funny looking down at the line of OCs and the line of ponies, and then there's that one super tall black like Alicorn with the fucking super wavy mane, and it's just like, oh god.
Smooth, what are you doing in Commander's closet?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
I'm just saying, we need to listen to the mixtape. Mixtape, Commander.
If They Switch is a lovely picture depicting all of us switching species. So now we're apparently a bunch of changelings now that are disguised as us normally and smooth as a unicorn. So,
no, you're all disguised as Pegasi.
But no,
if
they switched, we'd all be changelings disguised as.
Yes. As Pegasi.
Yeah, you said disguised as us normally, I think.
Oh gosh, fine. Whatever. I got it wrong.
Yeah.
I'm the worst.
Yeah.
And Commander finally got his revenge.
All of us being with line paper and whatnot.
I'm flying through the skies. Screw you guys. Haha.
I like myself in this fan art because I wrote on my fourth wall.
Yes.
I'm with stupid.
And I is the stupid.
So where do all the bad OCs go?
Why is Mummified and Soren, or why are Mummified and Soren skulls?
I don't know.
I mean, they're
Because they're both dead, obviously.
Apparently.
Rest in peace, Soren, and whatever, Mummified.
Rest in peace, rest in peace. I just also love this other piece of fan art by Lord of Lemon, which involves Yaxina or Yasina, however, whatever.
Or whatever name we're going to end up giving her. The Your OC Sucks OC.
Yeah, she's so fucking adorable. I just like...
Absolutely adorable.
Oh my god, you're so cute. Angst. Who the fuck are you? Disgusting. And can I just say that the more Yasina fan art we get, the happier I will be.
Yeah, because she's so cute.
And she, fits our personality very well. Where she's like, oh my god, this is so cute, and then...
What the fuck is this?
Who the fuck are you?
Speaking of more art of her, Rosie made some more art of her, with us in it also. I got Tuesday! Yay!
And then, Mehdi, I think your personal favorite was the one that was the teaching you how to say the name.
Yes, I really like that. No, it's Yasina, not Yaxina. Yasina. Smiley face. Yaxina. Snap!
That's a good one. I like it a lot.
And then surprise fan art by Xena Lolly.
Oh yeah.
That was funny. I like that one.
I've had a few teas that were, bearable, but I highly doubt they're actually considered tea because of how much sugar has to be put in them.
I like tea.
I'm gonna stand by. I just don't like tea or coffee. It's nothing against tea time. I like tea time.
I'm getting better with coffee though. Yeah, tea
I like
time is
tea.
really good.
Tea time's a good OC. I love you, tea time, and I love you, Xanololly, but I just don't like tea.
Tea's just kind of gross.
I'm sorry.
I like tea.
Nobody cares about you, Mummified.
And because we weren't able to do, I'm not sure if you were able to show it, but this is the fan art I was talking about, the once you go line, you never rewind.
Oh yeah, we found it finally, and or it was sent back to us.
Yeah, it was actually sent back to us.
Okay, good.
But yes, this is my favorite of the line art pony stuff.
Freaking beautiful. Also, real quick, last week, we had a little part where I voiced a certain stallion in the last episode, a certain Blueberry. Are you okay? Freaking dang it, I wish I had hair like that. Jeez. So cool. Are those tentacles? No, they're not tentacles. Oh, by the way, speaking of tentacles in my hair, though. Splatoon, amazing game. How many, all of Euro C sucks except for Mummified have played it, and it's a great game. And finally, the tentacle hair.
I was just looking at the great things we got from Yang759, and Commander's background is lined paper.
Is it?
Oh my god.
It is!
I hate everyone.
All of ours is perfectly fine. It's just background.
This is literally, I can't get away from it. It just doesn't.
But all of those are amazing pieces.
I love them all, and I've made a
Especially
folder.
mine. Especially mine. Mine's freaking adorable.
That was all of our fan art. It was absolutely lovely. We thank everybody who sends in fan art. We absolutely love each and every picture. In the meantime, we do have to move on to the actual part of this episode where we talk about ponies and whatnot. So, like I said at the beginning of the show, we are going to be talking about alicorns. So, as the random die of fate rolls, it rolled 3, so that means Minnie gets to go first this week.
Okay.
Minnie, tell us all about the first good OC you brought to the party.
Alright, this is Midnight Dream, the sand pony. He is... Before I get into this, can I say that I really liked Silverboy for doing this? They included a very short segment for his backstory that just hammered down the big points about his character. I love it. 10 out of 10. He is a... I can't remember what he was before he was an Alicorn, because he is a transform to Alicorn. Never mind.
He was a unicorn.
A unicorn?
Wow, it's in the picture.
I'm fucking blind. That's what I am.
That was the first thing I got out of it.
He's a bit younger than Celestia, which I don't really like that specific segment about that, but I'll get into that afterwards. His height is about as tall as Celestia, and I'm assuming this is Alicorn mode and not normal pony mode. He's married. He was born in Canterlot. His cutie mark is an hourglass with magic surrounding it, and he's in an AU, of course. They're like, of course, duh.
Yeah.
He likes Honeyflower, which is his wife, his kids, magic, and really spicy food. Dislikes rude ponies, sweets, violence, and strict ponies. He's very serious, but most of the time he acts like a child. Very animated when it comes to expressing his emotions. So he's like, I love doing hand signs.
What are hands?
He's very calm and polite. He also is very calm and polite, and he likes to be the role model for any... he likes to be the role model kind of pony. Now, his backstory is basically he grew up in a time with very strict family values that he didn't like. And, he gets his cutie mark the night before leaving for Ponyville. While he was daydreaming, because his cutie mark is a representation of dreams. And he wanted to join the Rail Guard. He met a Pegasus, who was named Honeyflower, who would later become his wife. She had a dream of being a flight instructor but she was suffering from a rare wing disease and she couldn't follow her dreams. So he worked really hard to create sand that allowed ponies to live out their dreams during their sleep, which is a really interesting idea. And that, finding the soul, like creating something with your sole purpose, made him an Alicorn. And then he profited. Not JK, he got married. And this is an AU, which is just like the show, except for Celestia, Luna, and the main six don't exist. And also in this AU, dreams are considered strange phenomenons, and usually you get nightmares. And nightmares are considered bring bad luck, or a warning sign of bad things to come. But yeah, I like that in his universe that actually making something that can give people their life in a dream is like, that's a big creation. And I can imagine that he spent a lot of hours working on this, so I like how he discovered something very serious about his love life and used his special talent and his talent about dreams and all this what worked, and it's just so good. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And the OC's cute too.
I like the story. I think that if it were just the normal universe, I wouldn't be 100% sold on that turning him into an Alicorn. Overall, though, I did like it, and I feel like with the way it was presented, I haven't read the long version, so I can't 100% say, but it feels like since he did this for the love of his life and stuff like that, that power behind that could have resulted in the whole Alicorn thing. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, it's a sand that can bring dreams to all ponies, allowing them to live. It's a big invention.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And like they go into the making of it, where in the description below, it's the dream sand. At first, he tried potions and drinkable solutions. They all ended up blowing up in his face. So it's like the go-to scientific method didn't work. It's only when magic was introduced that it worked.
Here's a question I have. So he's an Alicorn. Did his wife and kids just like die? And then does he like just live with like his descendants, or how does that work? It's a really sad existence if so.
Yeah. But I like how he likes spicy foods, because that's usually something I don't see. It's usually always the opposite. I like sweets, hate spice.
Spice is so good.
Spice is so good.
I like spicy food.
So spicy.
I agree, I don't really like sweets.
I used to like sweets a lot more, but no, not anymore. I can't do it as much.
Any of you guys have anything?
I mean, well, I guess I like both.
No, I don't mean about spicy and sweet. Welcome to Spicy and Sweet, the episode. Some of us are spicy and some of us are sweet.
Let's move on to aesthetic then. Let's move on to aesthetic there, Mitty.
Alright, moving on to aesthetic. This pony is really cute. Just like all other Silver Boy OCs.
Yeah, I mean, the Silver Boy generally is very good at designing both, like, a story for a character to make them fit in, like, whatever universe they're part of, and also just designing characters aesthetically.
Though, if I had one issue, even though she doesn't exist in the universe, that's Nightmare Moon's helmet. Like, that's like an evil-looking helmet. Because Celestia, the good Alicorns never wear a helmet. The color scheme on this character.
It's a little too strong in the unicorn form.
Yeah, the purple is a bit much in that one, but
the outlines, I think, kill it. Because they are lighter.
Yeah, the outlines are really hurting me here. She also has some magical hair beard.
Is that supposed to be a beard?
It's supposed to be like a little chin thing.
I don't
probably not just floating out in nothingness.
Yeah, it's like it's not really connected to anything else.
It's a little chin thing. You know?
I don't know how I feel about
it was
that.
like one of those rat tail ponytails.
Oh God, no! Ew.
How
it's just a little chin thing.
Would a scrunchie would that work on the ethereal?
Not too much to really critique, aside from like some more minor things, in my opinion.
The only thing in my final thing I want to talk about the aesthetics part is it looks like when he becomes an Alicorn, his cutie mark changes. I don't know if that's your ideal for the AU, and I don't know if you actually meant to do that. But if that's how it is, the cutie marks don't change with your body structure changing. We have Twilight as a reference from a person who went with the cutie mark to an Alicorn had the same cutie mark. Because cutie mark is based on destiny, it doesn't based on anything else. Hopefully, fucking the writers don't seem to care anymore. Also, your cutie mark is a little bit over-designed, but I don't know how to fix it because it's getting right there. I like it. I can't really critique it all that well because I'm going fucking insane because of season 5 because fucking cutie marks was shading.
Shading?
I'm going
The
crazy.
Shotten?
I'm fucking tight.
Moving on to the next pony. Looks like we rolled 1, so I get to talk about my Alicorn that I brought to the party. My Alicorn was Aurora Borealis. Now, before anybody jumps on me about this small little fact, yes, the teenage one looks a little weird, but it's possibly because of that fact that I like this pony so much. So,
Dipped her horn, looks like.
Yeah, it does.
It's
look
not
like
a
that.
phase, Mom. It's who I really am.
she actually lives in the Crystal Palace, and her main job is keeping the Crystal Heart protected and whatnot, because even though it is, as it says, despite how powerful it is, the Crystal Heart is still quite breakable. And I'm just like, okay, cool. So, anyway, her special talent is maintenance and repair. She's very protective of her family and whatnot. She also likes her mom. She says that she's very important to her family. She's involved in defense in a way because maintenance of the Crystal Heart, which is the kingdom who holds the fence system. She's an Alicorn because her parents were expecting her to take the throne. This actually is a fanful, from what I can tell, of Shining Armor and Cadence, to make an offspring child thing. Even though it never explicitly says it in the actual text below it, which is very odd, or would be weirdly sounding of a story if they didn't sit there and see the blatantly obvious thing at the very top. It just writing it would be a little bit better. I mean, don't leave it.
I mean,
if you leave something to be assumed.
Though to be fair, like if you read through the entire thing, you can easily tell that she's the daughter of Shining Armor and Cadence. Like it's not.
Yeah.
There's no assuming when it comes down to it. Like it's pretty much said. Just not. It's not like, hey, my character is this thing. It just shows you that she's this thing. So actually, while it's a bit confusing for some people, I do applaud them for the fact that they just went on like it wasn't making it not a huge deal.
Yeah, like show don't tell kind of thing.
Yeah, I appreciate it for that.
Yeah.
Not sure how I feel about it, but I appreciate it for that.
I feel stupid for not getting it instantly, but I appreciate it.
It's okay, Smooth. We forgive you.
Long story short about her cutie mark, a long time ago when she was 13, whopping 8 years ago. Anyway, the Crystal Heart was cracked or damaged or repaired, or cracked or damaged, and it was slowly leaking the power that it used to have when, I assume, it was the first came in and got recharged, and Sora, or Somber, get out of here. Anyway, it was damaged, it was leaking, and through her trying to find ways to fix it, she actually cured or fixed the Crystal Heart, so now it's perfectly fine again. That's how she got her talent and realized that her special talent is fixing the Crystal Heart. Other than that, there's not much about how it talks about her day-to-day life, or mostly about her personality that much. I mean, there's a lot of descriptive factors in the actual description of this piece, but not a lot of about her herself. But that being said, I like it. I don't know how else to explain it, but I like the little bit of a story. I like the fact that it's nothing too crazy or over the top either. I mean, we're not talking about, having to break canon and get this other thing out. I mean, yeah, you are technically talking about breaking canon with the fact of them having a child, but, whatever.
I mean, I'm assuming that this is just in the future and stuff.
I mean, like 20 years in the future, so...
So, I mean, it technically doesn't break any canon, it's just...
20 years.
It's
just not gonna happen.
That's
Yeah,
about
exactly.
80 more seasons?
Yeah, about.
Something like that.
I kind of want more on who she is more and less on a concept for a character, I guess. Like, I want to know this character, not the character that repairs the crystal heart.
That's probably the biggest thing that I feel would help make this character better, in my opinion. Because I'm not 100% sold on the character right now. I mean, it's not bad. It's not really too great. But I think if the personality was done well, then it would help a lot. Flesh out the character and stuff.
I hate her cutie mark.
Yeah,
I hate the idea of her entire special talent being, I can fix the crystal heart. Because it just feels like then the universe of My Little Pony is metagaming people to make sure it's running correctly.
Her special talent exists only because the problem started up all of the sudden.
Yeah.
So, she exists solely for a thing that wouldn't logically happen. The only problem I have with, because, I kind of see Alicorn OCs as, let's see what this one does in comparison to all the other ones. And I do like the fact that this one has something completely different from all the other ones. Mm-hmm. I don't like that it's so enclosed. It's not very easy to branch out from that, because fixing the crystal heart, this incredibly specific thing, and fixing other things, not sure how comparable those are.
I like her colors. Her colors are very nice. I like the fact that they also tie into the cutie mark as well. She seemed to be very,
analogous.
Yes, analogous is the word.
I never actually like that, because then it's like, oh yeah, but what if your tail is covering half of your leg, and then it's covering half of the cutie mark, and you see them right next to each other, and it's just no. Because they're just the same colors right next to each other in two very different things. Accessories I can understand, because they're things that you made that you by choice have on you, and they can easily overlap and stuff like that, but they're not naturally you kind of thing. This just bugs me.
Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah.
Recycling colors is okay, but matching the cutie mark to the mane and tail or the body, I'm not okay with.
I don't know how I feel about the whole mane and tail gradient. I like that it's not not too abrupt of a gradient for the most part, but I still just don't know how I feel about it. I like the base color that it starts from, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the gradient. I don't know whether it's just because I don't like gradients or what, but I don't know. I think if for a gradient, you were to keep the gradient, having it be the middle color between the two endpoints, have that middle color be the ending color, that might work.
Yeah, make it another green, not an incredibly dark gray.
Yeah.
I like this character. I think it's nicely done. I mean, taking into account the little things we're talking about, maybe tweaking it a little bit, it may become even better. But definitely the only fault I'm mostly seeing with this is the fact that, you need more information about who she is. You have a lot about her information, but not a lot about her personality. So maybe fleshing that side out will help. But in the meantime, we will move on to the next one. So, rolling the die of fate, that rolled a 3 again, that rolled a 1 again, that rolled a 1, come on. 4. So we get to take a look at Smooth's OC.
Okay. This is Azora she is a born Alicorn, and from the way that her parents are described, her mother being someone who protects volcanoes and keeps them in check, and her father being someone who protects the archipelagos they are on, very, very far away from Equestria, by the way, from hurricanes. They sound like they are probably also Alicorns, so I'm more okay with that being born Alicorn thing, because they're probably completely and totally away from Equestria, so canon-wise or headcanon-wise doesn't need to matter more in this situation, kind of thing.
What are archipelagos?
Archipelagos are chain islands kind of thing. Like Hawaii is an archipelago, sort of.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
At one point, the island, or one of the island's waters was becoming polluted and poisonous. The plants were all dying around it, and the water was just not safe to drink anymore. And since none of the three Alicorns knew of any magic to, like, actually purify the water or anything, Azora, still not having her cutie mark at this point, went up to it and started to imagine. She knew that there was no spells they had, and she was like, okay, let's try something different. Let's imagine the water becoming pure. She concentrated on that really hard and then dipped her horn into the water, and slowly the water became more pure, and the poison eventually dispersed, and the water was purified, drinkable, not killing the plants in the earth and their islands they're on. Her special talent is purifying, and that is her purpose as an Alicorn, keeping the waters pure and stuff for her island nation.
It's different than your normal kind of I like story for like cutie mark and like especially with an Alicorn and magic and stuff like that. I definitely like the way that it just sort of sets it apart, in just a small way for that specific part. But I think it is well done.
And a headcanon that the author has for this is that her mane isn't flowy like the two sisters because she hasn't unlocked full Alicorn power potential kind of thing. Though Alicorn Princess Twilight Sparkle probably has several times, but she still doesn't have a flowy mane.
But I feel like Celestia and Luna's flowing mane aren't because they have full power. I feel it's because they're born Alicorns and not converted Alicorns.
Well, when Luna came back from being Nightmare Moon, her mane was incredibly different.
And Lauren Faust did specifically say it's because she was not at her full power. That was said. So it does have to do with power.
She herself is more of a gentle and caring soul, but more unsure and a little emotional at times kind of thing. Sort of the typical Alicorn personality we see a lot of times, where they're not incredibly confident in themselves, really. And it's just kind of but at least at the very last line, it says that she wasn't really allowed to do many things for her own safety, because she's the princess. You gotta be sheltered like that, and I guess that makes more sense.
I like the idea that she does filter water and that this is her ability. I mean, both her parents seem to have very quote-unquote protective roles, whether it's from within, underneath the island, or above the island. And nature. She seems to have a protective way of, like, just purifying and cleaning as well. I mean, this was a problem that an island had, and she was like, oh, well, roundabout way of finding out. Well, yeah, so I like the continuing theme of protecting.
I'm not exactly sure how I feel about the looks. I like the eye color, and I like the coat color. And I generally like the mane, but I feel the purple and blue are a bit too saturated. What do you guys think?
I can kind of agree a little bit on them being too saturated. I'm not sure how I feel about the actual style and design of them. It's sort of like a thing where I just don't know how I feel. It's not even that I think that they're bad. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, the stylization design of the mane is really odd. I wish we could also see the tail.
Yeah. It's unique, so I like that, and I like when a design of an OC is unique because it helps them stand out. But I don't know if it works in quite as well as I would hope. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, the tail seems like it has a lot more white than the mane already does.
Yeah,
And
I really wish we could see that tail.
Yeah. A balance of colors would be nice for all of the things, but we don't know. Sniffle.
I like the concept of the cutie mark, though I probably wouldn't put any gradients on it.
Yeah.
The leaf itself is a little bit...
You could probably just do it without the leaf so incredibly curved.
Yeah.
Just kind of a...
Have it just...
Kind of like the angle that the droplet is flowing at already, but just have the leaf kind of more...
It end closer
flattish
there.
instead of a circle.
Yeah, and I think have it be more of just a smaller crescent kind of shape instead of this big loop.
It's a beautiful design, but I just feel it wouldn't work in the show, and technically it never said here that it was AU or anything like that, so...
And given that the rest of the character design seems to fit pretty well with sort of show things, it just... The cutie mark design, in my opinion, doesn't fit with the rest of the character design. With that.
Although it does have a lot of swirls and curves and stuff, just like the mane.
That's true, I guess, but I don't know.
She seems like she's more of an Alicorn OC of what I would like as Alicorn OCs, I guess. Not really Equestria, but actually has a purpose that's specific to her kind of thing, and the nation she's of. I really like that being how Alicorns work. Because Equestria already has 4 and they don't need any more. And I also like her colors, generally.
Yeah.
And the eyes are really nice.
Well then, thank you for bringing that one on smooth. Next, we're going to take a look at what Commander brought to the show.
Cool.
Commander, tell us all about your OC.
So the OC that I brought this is Vicareena. Also has the nickname of Rena, so... Vicarena's, she's an Alicorn, obviously, and her talent is, when you were talking about your OC, Smooth, I was like, man, maybe this, this OC is just like, that OC's mom, because this OC has dominion over volcanoes and can manipulate magma, beneath the Earth's crust. Which is kind of funny. Just do that. And she, also has an Alicorn mother and father, because this OC, while it's not, technically stated as an AU, it takes place in the very distant past, before the time of the, Royal Sisters, and a long time ago, at a time where in the universe that this person is created, unicorns, they sort of ruled the lands, and, they were much more common. I think of it kind of as, almost how modern religions that have a few gods versus Greek and Roman gods where they just do, there's a god for everything, just but in this universe there's an Alicorn for everything, and they have different parts of nature and the world that they control.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. I think it's a nice universe that is still within the same universe, but it fits well in this character. As I'll explain, I like how they fit. Anyways, so for personality, Vicareena is an incredibly passionate and sort of fiery individual, and though at times she can be a bit wrathful and quick and easy to anger, but even though she's easy to anger, she is also quick to forgive, which so she's almost a little bit bipolar at times. Like for instance, once she decided, I'm gonna try to court this young Alicorn stallion, and then he rejected her, so she burned one of his forests down that he owned. But she then realized that she was like, oh wow, I'm being a fuck, and decided to like help repair the damage that she caused. So, taking responsibility. She was tasked with governing over volcanoes to make sure that the like destructive power of them didn't like run rampant and just destroy all of civilization. So what she had to do is has to use her magic to sort of like suppress volcanoes and keep them in check. But unfortunately, that doesn't mean that she's just going to keep them from just erupting forever, because as time goes on, pressure builds more and more, and it becomes harder to control. So she has to like find the proper way to disperse of that the energy that's building up in the volcanoes by transferring the magma and the like different things through like giant currents of magma that are under the ground to have it be in different places so that the pressure doesn't build up too much in one place that's, say, near a big city. Because that'd be bad.
What?
It's
How
crazy.
would that be bad?
Also, she is not a princess. She just performs duty, like, this is pretty much just, like, her job. And because Alicorns, since they're not just, like, some crazy, unique thing at this time, there's no real reason for her to be a princess, and I like that. I like
that, too.
Yeah. She also lives near the side of an active volcano to sort of stay close to, like, so that she can sense the, like, shifts in the, like, the mantle, I guess, is how the person describes it, to, like, try and control things a little bit better. And then, for the creator also put a few other notes, which I'll just read over really quickly. Due to her dominion over volcanoes, she also has a couple other abilities, like she can walk across lava and not have it really affect her, and she can also like cool molten rock so that like when she does that by cooling the like magma and stuff while she steps, and it turns into sort of just like those, those sort of like lava rocks, and then she can also, like, just go through fires and just not get burned, and can even bathe in lava like dragons. Well, though I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that, if it was a normal character, or even a normal Alicorn, the way, since I think of this in very much almost in parallel with, like, Roman gods in that sort of sense, I kind of like it still.
The Roman and Greek gods have gone through a lot worse than bathing in lava.
Yeah.
I think bathing in lava makes perfect sense for this character.
Yeah, I think it does for the most part too. And then, like I said earlier, she's like kind of bipolar, so she goes through these mood swings, and because of that she's kind of a bit of a loner, because a lot of ponies just don't take the time to really understand her. And she's also been insultingly called ambassador because of the fact that since she's very like tied to volcanoes, she actually deals with dragons a lot, and is actually very like friendly with dragons who most of the other Alicorns like just dislike because of the fact that they seem just brutish and greedy. And the fact that she's just very open with them and friendly with them is viewed as very odd. And kind of like, dragons? Ew, get away. Also, she, like, if you look at the picture, she has this, very long purple ribbon that was, gifted to her by, from one of the hordes of dragons she actually lives by. And she's been gifted other trinkets over the years, but this is the one that she cherishes the most because it was the first one she received from somebody from people who she felt she could call, like, friends.
Wait, that's one really, really long ribbon?
It's what it sounds like.
Oh my goodness, that's one really, really long ribbon. I hope it's like flame-proof and lava-proof.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she was gifted it by dragons, so, Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense, yeah. but like I
It's
hope
still-
it is, because if it's not, that would be so painful
I'd be
to
like,
take out of your hair. Like, not even just the fact of losing it, but like that is stuck in her hair. She's not getting that out ever.
Yeah. Though I do really like just really quickly jumping over to how it looks. I like the fact that like we see it on the arm and then it goes behind the wing, so that we can just assume that it then gets tied into the rest of things totally fine, since it sounds like it is one ribbon. I like that.
Yeah.
That is pretty much this character. Sorry, it took a while. There's a lot to this character, but I really like her.
I like that character. Like you said, I mean, it's a really cool design. And, no, I mean, like, design of the character itself, not necessarily aesthetically, but the concept and idea that they are a protecting thing, but without it being, like, I don't know. It just seems to fit
well
with
thought
that.
out.
Yeah, it's well thought out in the fact that it's, a good, it's powerful, but it's not oddly powerful.
It make like everything for the character makes sense within the prescribed universe that she is placed in.
Prescribed?
Whatever.
I prescribe to you 1 Equestria daily. No!
I really like this pony's aesthetics, and the aesthetics are actually what initially had drawn me to this character when I saw it in our folder, however long ago I saw them. But I'm just really quickly going to touch on the one thing that I'd say the biggest problem with is the cutie mark, just because it just feels so out of place on the character.
Yeah.
Because most of this character, while it's like really crazy, it is surprisingly like close to like sort of show style in a lot of things. Even though it has this crazy flowy mane, which I like the fact that it's like feels very full and flowy, but it isn't like that whole ethereal thing. I like that. Just another like small thing.
Where does the mane end and the tail begin?
That's a very good question.
That is an incredibly good question.
Even though there's all this stuff going on in like the mane and tail, it doesn't feel overly complicated. It just feels like just a really fucking giant poofy mane and tail. But the cutie mark there's all these little lines, and it's described as a spiraling meteor, which I also don't like because
She didn't she have nothing to do with meteors?
yeah, that's one problem with it, and even just as a meteor, there's a lot of problems I have with the design of the cutie mark.
Super over-designed.
Yeah, it's really over-designed, just too many spikes on it. Aesthetically, and as, like, the specific thing that the cutie mark is, it just doesn't really fit. And I don't know what, like, do you guys have any idea of a cutie mark design for this character? I think this character's really well thought out, but I can't think of one that would just look good.
Maybe that molten magma rock thing that was described earlier.
Yeah, I would possibly do something like that. Like,
it would probably be difficult to... Actually, no. You could make, like, a general just clump of a rock shape. Have that be brown, I assume it would be.
It's kind of like a brown.
Like a good pastel brown that would also work as a rock. No, I don't think that would work as a rock. Pastel rocks. But also have, like, the veins of magma going through it.
Yeah, something like that. I think that could work pretty well. Would you call that burnt orange, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
Which I think burnt orange is a pretty good color to use on a character that has to do with, like, lava.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But I think all the color choice is really good. And even though the purple of the ribbon doesn't appear anywhere else in the character, it's still a very good accent.
Especially the theming of yellow, orange, and red. And purple as an accent color, but that was way later on in life, and a gift from the dragons. The yellow, orange, red, once again, is the theme of fire.
Yeah. Which, I like the fact that, I think that having the orange and the red be the dominating colors specifically, and then having the yellow be an accent, more in the eyes and the cutie mark. I mean, in the eyes is what I'd be focusing on, because that's another problem with the design of the cutie mark that we were thinking of, is like it wouldn't really have too much of that yellow, but the yellow, I think having it in the smallest quantity works the best, because yellow is such a weird and hard color to nail down on a pony. And I think that on this, the yellow and red definitely feel closer to magma and molten stuff than the yellow.
You mean orange and red?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. But I also like how the one that's different and not nearly as much as the other is also the one that can stand out the most, the yellow, which is used as the eyes.
Yeah. Aesthetically, I mean, I pretty much just like everything about the character except for the cutie marks. That's the only thing I'd even recommend changing at all. And then I just really like pretty much everything with this character, and I really like the world that it's set in. And if you made other characters, other Alicorn OCs in this world that you've sort of created, I think that'd be really cool, because I just like it a lot.